training your people. Everybody, because they role-played and trained their people for 8 to 10 weeks and did a seminar for them, and they're all role-played it, they think their people do exactly what they said. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. If you wait 1 month, they'll change it. If you wait a year, they'll change it more. 2 years, they'll change it more. Everything has to be reinforced with training. If you want them to do it exactly like this, you've got to check on it exactly like this. And I think Master Smith, Jeff Smith, 100 years ago said, the things you inspect, they respect, and that's it. But I don't care if they do it exactly right. I manage my people's attitude, how they feel, and my profit margin. The rest of it, I don't spend my time because I'm trying to be what? Happy. I'm not happy confronting my people. If they made the money, am I going to say anything at all to the guy that just made $549,000 last year for me about the fact that he taught a form wrong? I can't now. I don't teach forms, but I don't talk to those people. I don't need to. I manage people and profit. That's it. Until you get in that attitude, you'll have a problem because you'll always be trying to manage little tiny details that really don't add that much to the bottom line. Because most of you don't know how much you really need to live abundantly anyway. And I ask every karate instructor in the world how much you need to make, they'll go more. How much work do you want to do? They'll go less. Every single one. They want to do less work and make more money. I understand that, but it doesn't necessarily always work out that way. Now your money. First, let me go back to training. I was taught to tell you when Master Reed came to Jacksonville and I had a Monday morning meeting, and I invite everybody in the city, the competitors, to my meetings in those days. So I had 5 other schools. One was a good friend of mine, Shotokan. All the competition was there, and my staff too. And my instructor said, why in the hell are you teaching all the competition? I said, hell, I can't get my guys to do it. I'm not worried about somebody else doing it. That's the truth. You can't get them to do what you train them to do. I'm not worried about an outsider. What I was trying to get them to do was charge testing fees and use contracts. That's why I wanted them to make money. I trained them to do that, so they couldn't do that bullshit of no contracts and we don't charge testing fees. So I trained them to do that. I hope they made money, you know, but my people also understand competition. I'm more afraid of what my guys don't do than what somebody else does. That's makes me much more afraid. So let me make sure. So in your model, you've got to have some type of marketing. You're either going to do it with 20 to 50% of your time or 8 to 10% of your money, of the gross dollar you want to do. So if I want to do $50,000, at least times 8, and find a way to use it efficiently. Now, I don't track all the leads and percentages like I should. I'm tracking what? Keep my people, how they feel, and the profit margin. I'm not trying to squeeze every penny out of every deal, which I might be able to make more money, but I might not be happy. Or I might not be free because I'm worried about what they're doing instead of what I'm doing. So you got to spend money. So when you do, years ago, my brother Larry called me up. He said, look, I don't know if you know about this or not, but my dad was 71 at the time, is dating a 25-year-old girl. I said, that can't be right. There's no possible way. Yep, somebody from his office. So I called him up. His name was Bill Clark, too. That's probably my curse. I called him. I said, Dad, what's the deal with Lily? He said, well, I don't know. What do you mean? He said, well, I heard you and her are going out. He said, we are. I said, well, you know, for God's sakes, I hope y'all aren't having sex. He said, why? I said, because it could cause a heart attack. He said, if she dies, she dies. But really, I found out because he was telling other people. And I said, who did you tell? He said, I told everybody. That's what your marketing's got to do. Your marketing's got to tell everybody because you think everybody in your city knows about you because you've been there 40 years. Well, I've been in Jacksonville since 1971, and they don't know about me yet. And I'm trying to own the community. They don't know about you. You got to tell everybody all the time, over and over again. So you got to make that work. Now I want to talk about money because does somebody have time? Anybody know what time it is? I got plenty of time. Okay, so at that same time when Master Reed and I were talking about, not like you guys, but once in a while, I had cash in a pillowcase. once in a while, not anymore, but once in a while I had cash in a pillowcase. Not anymore. And way past the time that they can prosecute, more than 4 years ago. But at that time, I took all the cash out and I divided it into 5 piles. And I said, okay, this is the way my life's going to run, because every dollar has a purpose, and you don't know it. So I don't know if there's anything to write with up here. I want to talk about this because no matter, our school is designed to give us money to use, and money has to move. It can't sit still. You can't put it in your pocket and get bigger and bigger pockets. I mean, you can, but it doesn't work that way. Money's got to move. Money's got to produce. Somebody else talking about investing. I don't look at, first off, I don't buy stocks that I'm counting on to grow. I buy dividend stocks. They pay me now about $22,000 a month. I buy dividend stocks, so I don't have to sell them and pay capital gains to get profit. I buy dividend stocks, they pay, and they're automatically reinvested through a Vanguard basic account. That's it. And they pay every month. I reinvest every month. When I get ready to retire, I can just redirect the dividends to another account that I'm going to spend. At that time, I have to pay tax on the dividends, but I don't pay tax on the increase, and I don't care about the stock price because I'm buying what? I'm buying what? I'm not trying to get a stock that's going up. I'm buying the dividend. I don't care if the stock's 30, 15, 9, 20. I'm buying a dividend, and the stocks run somewhere between 9.5% and 17%, the stocks that I buy. And those are high stocks. They may be higher risk, but I've always got 10 to 12 stocks all the time. If they ever quit paying their dividend, that's the only time I sell any stocks. And I'm not trying to make money off the price increase, okay? That's just another way that I want to do it, because hell, I'm 74. I might not be here next year, you know. According to Andy, I could be gone. Here's the 5 accounts that you should understand. You don't have to, but you should. I've done this for everybody that's ever been to my seminars, because if you don't know about money, you don't know anything. You should probably write this down. You don't have to. All my guys that have been with me a long time, they have 5 accounts. And if a dollar goes in there, it's only used for whatever the purpose of this account is. Number 1 at the top is my SO, my standard obligations. If possible, you should reduce not your school, but your personal standard obligations down right now. Of course, your standard obligations are your lifestyle. So you may not want to get them down to 0. But I put money in there, how much I need to pay my mortgage payment if I have one, my rent, my cars if the school doesn't pay for it, my insurance, my food, all things that come every single month as a, I have to do this. And if you get that down, I don't know if you were guessing, what are your standard obligations personally right now? A couple people give me an idea. What you think your standard obligations are monetarily every month, personally, not in your school. And if you're running everything through your school, you really can't decide on this. But somebody, what's your standard obligations? Do you have to have $1,000 a month to pay your bills, $2,000 a month to pay your bills, $10,000 a month to pay your bills? My standard obligations now are probably $20,000. I live in a pretty decent condo. I do whatever I want. I have decent cars. But it's been 50 years, so I deserve that and more. So, but whatever yours is, you need to know, and most of you don't know. You just have a pile of money and you spend it. Your standard obligation money, only that money should go there, and only that money should go to pay your standard obligations. You shouldn't raise it unless you raise it on purpose. Because when you're young, you should be reducing this so you got more money left for life, okay? Whatever this is, your emergency fund, if you don't have children, is 3 times this. 3 times your standard obligations. This EF is emergency fund. That account can be an interest-bearing account. If you have a house, it can be your line of credit. You have to have 3 times your SO. Make sense to everybody? If you have kids, you should have at least 6 times your SO, either in a line of credit or in some type of an interest-bearing account that you can activate to pay your standard obligations. If COVID comes out, and some of you got wiped out income-wise by COVID, we just stayed open, told the police to fine us. We just stayed open. We just stayed open. They're not going to crush me, but whatever that is, 3 to 6 times, depending on how many kids you have. Your business also should have an emergency fund, at least 3 to 6 months, that will cover your expenses so you don't have to close a school unless you want to. If a school's losing money month after month after month, somebody asked Master von Schmeling, what's his biggest mistake? I can tell you mine is that I try to keep a school open when I don't have the right instructor in place. When I haven't brought up the right instructor and it's losing money, I tend to try to keep a school open. And now I'm getting rid of all that crap now. I don't do that anymore. Getting rid of all that. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If I get these two first, once that's established, I don't put more money in there. I don't put more money over here. I don't put more money in here than I need for my standard obligation. Now the funds, you need to know what you want to spend per diem without telling your wife. And what you're allowed to spend per diem without her having to tell you. And mine right now, and this is after 50 years of messing with it. I started off with Master Reed saying, ask GrandMaster for more money in Vegas. He was giving me $25 a day per diem. He said, ask for 50. I asked for 50, gave me 50. Then I figured out per diem, well, that's just how much money I want to be able to spend per day. So I don't know how much you want to be able to spend, but there are some of you that when you spend money, you feel guilty. You feel guilty because you don't have this designated. It's called FU. A lot of people think that means you know what they think it means. It's just the fun part of you, the fun money. And I'm willing to spend right now $1,000 a day without ever feeling guilty. And she can do the same thing. Miss Papel, long before we were married, she has the same account. $1,000 a day without me asking questions. That means $30,000 a month, I don't care. Now, yours may not be that high because you're not as old as I am, or you have a larger SO, or you have kids. But anything that you want or you think you need comes out of here, and they're the same. If you want it, you need it. If it's within this budget. If you want to go play golf and it's $600 to play golf, do you hide it from your wife? Do you hide it from your wife? Anybody? No. Nobody? If the massage is $400 plus a tip, do you hide it from your wife? There are a few honest people. A few honest people. You need to know this. And then, same thing for her. I mean, if she goes out and buys a Louis Vuitton purse at $4,500, is that a problem for you? Is that a problem for you? Only because you don't have your FU money set up for you and her, and that problem may be why she's not here with us today. I'm just saying. Maybe that's why she's not here. Somebody bought that damn Louis Vuitton. I'm just teasing, sir. Okay, good. But I mean, so this is an equal thing. Whatever I want for myself, I have to have for Ms. Papel. I have to have the same thing, the same obligation. Now, luckily, I trained her to never spend a penny, but she could. Now, since it's $1,000 a day, I never put more than $30,000 in that account. That's a cash-bearing account, and I seldom spend all of it. If I spend $15,000, how much do I put in it next month? At the end of the month, how much do I put back in that FU account? 15. I don't put 30 in there. I put 15 in there because people say, you got to save for the future. Hell, for me, the future's here. I'm not saving for the damn future. How about old you? I am old you. I'm not saving for that yet. But this is, for me, is $30,000, and for her. She never spends anything. I spend at least half. Sometimes anything that goes over $30,000 cannot come out of that account. So all my little tiny goals, like new golf clubs or anything else that's under $30,000, has to come out of here. When there's no money in here, I don't get to do that. That's my self-regulating governor on money. I can go buy a damn car if I want to. Now, the problem with buying a car, I got $30,000 down, and it adds to my SO probably, because it's a $100,000 car. I don't really want to add to this. Okay, so this is small goals, things I want and things I need, and they are what? They're the damn same. If you want it, you need it. Because that want will drive you crazy, and then you'll be hiding it, secret it. If you do money correctly, you won't have a fight with your spouse about money. Never question their money if it's within what y'all agreed. Don't question what she spends it. You may only spend $1,000 a month and she may spend 30, but that's what you agreed is you got to be okay with that. Because some people spend money and some don't, right? Some guys hold on to every penny. They may only need a smaller amount, but this FU money is where your life is. I don't want to feel guilty because I spent money. That doesn't give you any pleasure. That won't make me happy if I'm feeling guilty. If I get these three, now I can start working on other things. All money goes into the middle. This one has to be pretty high tech here. This one has to be first. That one is permanent, and this one has to be every month, probably if I spend it. When these three are done, Master Reed, next year I need a better computer. Okay? When these three are done, everything else is 50%. 50% in old you. For me, that's real estate and dividend stocks and other schools. For me, that's those three things. My income at those, this is the old you account, but only 50% of what's left over goes there. The rest have to go in goals that I have, big goals I have. Some of my goals now are a trip to Greece with my wife, which COVID has stopped that. Lime green Lamborghini. If you come look at my vision board, you'll see it. $10 million total down here is one of my goals, but that money comes from here. Comes from goal account. Doesn't come from over here. Over here is my life. I've got to have a lifestyle that I feel is abundant, or why would I go? Why would I do? Why would I risk? Why would I even take? I've got to have a reason to get up every damn day, and it takes money, and money's got to move. So first, I fund this, then I make sure this is covered, then I take care of my FU money. Yours might be $100 a day for each of you. What do you think your FU money would be for you and your spouse? What do you think? Ma'am, are you a dominant player in your relationship? You're not. You're a player. You're a player. What do you think your FU money should be that you don't want to feel guilty about it, whether you're spending it on the kids or anything else? What should it be? 1,000 a day, 100 a day, 500 a day, or there's no limit. You can spend whatever you want, and he's got to deal with it. You don't have any idea. So until you figure that out, you will have a problem. You know what yours is? 200 a day. So how much a month? $6,000. Okay, look the other way. Are you okay with that? Okay, good. So we got to have that agreement first. But that means he can also spend $6,000. Now I've got to have 12 in there. And it may be that you spend more than him or vice versa. He spend more than you. So you need to decide, okay, for me to live the life, anything I want, how much do I need in that account? Once you know that, you know your number, you'll go far. You'll have a great life. When you're holding every penny and afraid to spend, you won't live until you're old, and by then you'll be too old to live. A lot of people are waiting to someday live, someday go on a vacation, someday buy the car of their dreams, someday live in the house of their dreams. You have to live now. You must live now. You might not make it to old you. Hell, people wrote me off at 70. Said, listen now, he may not ever be back. He might not make it again. I don't know how long you'll live, but I know you better live now. Some of you will get to the end of your life having never lived. You get all the way to the end having never lived. How about you? Your wife's not here. How much do you think you should be able to spend a day? 10,000? I want to use that number on purpose because Master Reed, the guy that taught me this system and worked with me on, his per diem was 10,000 a day. I was so impressed. I said, what do I got to do to get to that? He said, win the lottery. And I buy lottery tickets still. But his per diem was 10,000 a day. And he lived on a ship called the World. If you ever go and look it up, the World, it's a condo on a ship, and it costs $24,000 a month, just your condo fees that covers all your food, all your entertainment, and everything else. But his was $10,000 a day, which is quite different than mine, right? But still, he did what he wanted. I'm doing what I. But you don't know what you want to be able to spend without guilt, because most of you will spend guilty no matter how much you spend, because you don't have an agreement with yourself on what's my guilt-free money. Okay, Try to do that. Down here, if there's 10,000 left, 5,000 goes here, stocks, real estate, into an interest-bearing account until it's big enough to spend. 5,000 goes here into goals, because you can't let your goals not happen. Like a lot of you do New Year's resolutions and never do it. A lot of you have goals to live in a house, or if you the car of your dreams, without your kids and your wife listening and watching, what is it? What's the car of your dreams? Every guy has a car dream, right? Every guy has a car dream. What's yours? 1979 Trans Am. How much does it cost? 30 grand. Not that much. So when I got enough money over here, I execute, because it's more than what my other account has. And I don't really want to add to my SO. Does anybody or everyone understand the banking system? You should. It will make you wealthy. At least 500 a week or 500 a month must go into your old U account for the next 25 to 40 years. You will become a millionaire if you just put it in a normal account that buys the industrial average and it grows at 8 to 10%. 500 to 1,000 a month for the next 25 to 40 years, when you're ready to retire, will be way over $1 million. And at 500 a month is not that tough. But most of you don't start soon enough to take advantage of what the banks understand, compound interest. The reason the banks are so rich, because they understand that, getting paid on the outstanding balance. You should take 500 a month. Some people do 500 a day, 250 a day. You decide that. But that means I've got to do enough work to reach that number. When I add all this together, that tells me my number. And like Master Reed said, did you reach your number? The answer is only yes or no. If you didn't, you better what? Learn to love something else. You must understand. You must learn to love, because we all do what we love, or what we like, or what's comfortable. Sometimes that doesn't get you anywhere. Sometimes what you're comfortable doing got you here, but it won't get you here. It won't get you flying first class all the time. It won't get you flying private. It won't get you in the house of your wife's dreams. It won't get you in the car of your dreams. It won't get you the Louis Vuitton purse. It won't get you the $3,000 hair extensions. I need those too. Okay, it won't get you that stuff. But if you use this banking system, you'll have a chance to understand money. What's this money for on the bottom? And what's this money for? Bigger goals that are bigger. What's this money for? My lifestyle, things I want and things I need. This money, standard obligations. If you understand that, say, well, can't I just put it all in one pile? No. Can't put it all in one pile. No possible way can you put it all in one pile. Why? Because then you don't know the purpose of the money. But myself, if I got 30,000 over here, I know the purpose of that money. What? To spend on my lifestyle. Things I want and things I need. If I got $1 million or more here, I know the purpose. This has to generate 3 times the money that I need to make. All my money is $500,000 a year, my investments better generate 3 times that. Because somebody said it's going to cost a lot more 20 years from now. 1976, when I went through this, a brand new Cadillac was $10,000. It's more than that now. Even that same Cadillac is more than that now. Okay, so you have to understand the banking system in order for you to be rich. It is simple. You won't find it written down anywhere else, but this will set you free, because your husband will say, look, I want to go on a vacation, and you get to go, where's the money coming from? Our goal account, our standard obligation, we can't spend that to go on a trip, or our living account, if it's a short enough trip, you could do that. It comes from a specific place, because all money has a purpose, and you get to assign the purpose. It's not all equal. It's not all equal. Everybody kind of understand this part now. I said, your COVID bullshit. COVID set a lot of us free. First off, my schools have not been to a tournament in 24 months. Several of my instructors said, you know how much money I have in my travel account now, since I don't have to go to any regional tournaments or national tournaments? One of them said, I have $46,000 in that account. What should I do with it? I said, move it out of that damn travel account and don't ever travel to those things again. Split it between your goal account and your old account. My instructors, because COVID allowed them to understand tournaments aren't necessary for business. We're having record year, record months, month after month after month without travel, except this kind of travel. We don't go, and if you hold regional tournaments, I'm sorry, but you're unnecessary for my business. I know a lot of you hold tournaments. I do hold inter-school tournaments for my schools just so the kids can get the flavor, but I'm not a tournament school anymore. The other thing COVID taught me is you don't have to teach forms, because you damn sure can't teach them through Zoom to beginners. Go this way, no, the other way, no, have your mom tell, no. You can't teach forms. You can't teach forms through Zoom, and we had to use Zoom. But Zoom also taught me that right now I can upgrade people without them coming to school, because I'm going to Zoom call the mom and explain my whole upgrade process. And I can ask her for $19,000 through Zoom, or $10,000, or whatever you want to ask. I can do Zoom, say, well, nobody came in tonight. Great, you got plenty of time to call. Do a Zoom call, and every mom knows Zoom. We should all bought stock in damn Zoom, right? So we can now use it to do all of our business. Nobody has to come in for an appointment. You can just say, what time's good for me to call you? I want to talk about Johnny setting his goal to second degree or third degree. My longest membership is 96 months, and that's the complete program. At the end of that, you don't have any more tuition, because you don't need a coach, you'll be a coach. That makes sense, kind of a language? You don't need a coach, you'll be a coach. So well, we can't do, I mean, don't be concerned so much about what you can't do. Try to figure out what you can do. But use a Zoom. You've learned to Zoom. You've learned tournaments aren't necessary. You probably learned that you taught a lot of classes with no forms. You probably did bag drills, pad drills, kick the couch drill, chase the dog drill. I don't know what you did through Zoom. But we all had it. Some of you are still doing it. Canada, for some of my people that I coach, is still shut down. They're not allowed to come in. Anybody have that in your state, where you still got mask rules, vaccine rules, can't travel rules? I avoid all that crap like the plague. But that's the COVID bullshit. I don't need tournaments. The great opportunity that's right now is why? Because truthfully, everybody in business having record months. Everybody in business having record months if they're doing it right. We're having months that we've never had before. Master von Schmeling just had a fantastic year. So did I. So did you probably. That will not be this easy forever. Why is it easy now? Because there's a pent-up demand for people to do this stuff. There's a pent-up money for people to do this stuff. People got government money. They have their own salary they weren't able to spend. It will not last like this. So don't be expanding thinking, I have the magic formula now. I know all speakers, like myself, are very impressed with your own bullshit. Every speaker, including myself. But if you don't have a duplication of a bunch of units, you ought to keep that shit to yourself. I'm sorry. There's a whole lot of people out telling people what to do. They never had 100 students. I know somebody that's got over 1,000 people following them that never had 100 damn students. Never made a net profit, and 1,000 people are following them. I'm saying you run into somebody like that, get the information if you need it. Find a simple way to do it. I wouldn't follow people stupider than you are. I wouldn't. Find out what they've done. Did their system work? Or is it just really nice looking? Because I can read a book, take a couple of pictures out of the book, put it on a screen and talk about it. I can go to a seminar somewhere and grab somebody's shit, come back and teach a seminar. But that's not what I want to do. And that won't help you, because I'm only going to tell you what I do in my school and hopefully make you think about what you do in your school. Say, well, no, I know I'm right. We both accomplished our goal. You now solidified your belief that you're right. So that's the first four. I want to talk about something difficult now for you and for me and for everybody else.